Hello my dear students, in this class we are starting with history parts lesson 3. Already we have completed lesson 1 and 2. Now lesson 3, the Delhi Sultanate. We will start with the Delhi Sultanate. In the first introduction part we can see that the important incidents that happened in the 11th century. Most of the rulers of North India, they were very weak. In the 11th century, the rulers of North India, they were very weak. So, many people, they came from outside. Why? Because the rulers of the North Indian or North India, they were very weak rulers. So, from the outside, many people, they came and attacked the rulers. Okay, and they invaded India. They plundered the wealth of India, especially Mahmud, Sultan Mahmud. He was the ruler of Ghazni, and he invaded India in AD 998 to 1030. Okay, between 1000 and 1027, he raided 17 times. He attacked, he came and plundered the wealth of India in 17 times. Okay, so during his raids, he plundered the wealth and destroyed palaces, temples and cities. And he plundered the wealth of the famous Indian temple, that is Somanath temple in Kathiawar was among the temples he plundered. And Mahmud, he brought Punjab and parts of the Sindh under his control. In the 11th century AD, the many North Indian rulers, they were very weak. So many foreign rulers, they came and attacked India, especially Sultan Mahmud. He attacked and raided India in 17 times, and during his raid, he plundered, he took away the wealth of India, and mainly he destroyed palaces, temples, etc., etc. Especially he attacked and plundered the wealth of Somanath temple. Okay, on that time, the Sindh and the Punjab, it was under the control of Mahmud. Okay, and here we are going to study about another important great scholar, Persian scholar. He accompanied Mahmud in India, and he was master of Sanskrit and translated some books, some Sanskrit text into Arabic. The name of that great Persian scholar, that is Al-Biruni. Okay, he was a great Persian scholar, and he accompanied with Mahmud to India. He was master of Sanskrit and he translated many books into Arabic. Okay, and here we are going to study another important personality, that is Muhammad Ghori. Muhammad Ghori's invasion in 1173. Ghazni, he annexed by the Ghorid dynasty based at Khor in Afghanistan. And the famous or important ruler of Ghorid ruler, he was Mahmud Ghori, and he decided to expand his empire into India. So in 1190, Mahmud Ghori attacked. He included Punjab and Sindh, and at this time Prithviraj Chauhan III of Ajmer and Delhi was the most powerful Rajput ruler of North India. Okay, so he wanted to control Punjab. He wanted to defeat Prithviraj Chauhan. Okay, so this led to wars between Muhammad Ghori and Prithviraj Chauhan on the battlefield of Tarain near Delhi. Muhammad Ghori, he wanted to capture the areas of Punjab and Sindh. The Prithviraj Chauhan III was the ruler of this area. So Mahmud and Prithviraj Chauhan want to capture this area. So this issue led to wars between Mahmud Ghori and Prithviraj Chauhan. So this battle or the Mahmud Ghori and Prithviraj Chauhan on the battlefield of Tarain near Delhi. Okay, in the first battle fought in 1191, Prithviraj defeated Muhammad Ghori. In the first battle, Prithviraj defeated Muhammad Ghori, and in the second battle, Muhammad Ghori defeated Prithviraj Chauhan. Okay, later he died. Prithviraj died also. Okay, and Muhammad Ghori occupied Delhi and Ajmer, and 1194 he defeated the ruler of Benares and Kanuj. After this, Muhammad Ghori's returned to Ghor, leaving his Indian territories in the charge of his trusted slave and able general Qutbuddin Aibak. Later, Muhammad Ghori, he captured Delhi and Ajmer, and he defeated many rulers also. And when he came or after this, Muhammad Ghori's return to Ghor, he was ready to go to his own place, and he left his important or trusted slave in India. Who is that? Qutbuddin Aibak. So it started on another sultanate. Okay, establishment of Delhi Sultanate between 1194 and 1206. Qutbuddin Aibak, he was the slave of Muhammad Ghori, and in 1194 and 1206 Qutbuddin Aibak and other Turkish generals conquered the Ganga Yamuna Doab, Aligarh, Kalanjar, Bihar and Bengal. After Muhammad Ghori's death 1206, Qutbuddin proclaimed himself Sultan to the Turkish territories in India. He made Delhi capital and thus founded the Delhi Sultanate. After some years, Qutbuddin Aibak and other Turkish generals, they conquered the places of Ganga, Yamuna, Doab and many places. Okay, after the death of Muhammad Ghori, Qutbuddin declared he was or himself as the head of or himself as the Sultan of the Turkish territories in India. He made Delhi as his capital, and he found the Delhi Sultanate. Okay, and between 1206 and 1526, Delhi Sultanate have 5 dynasties. Which are they? Slave dynasty, Khilji dynasty, Tughlaq dynasty and Sayyid dynasty. Okay, slave, Khilji, Tughlaq, Sayyid and Lodhi dynasties. Okay, these were Afghan origins. These dynasties were Afghan origins, and the Dilika or Delhi was possibly built by Tomaras around in year 736, and a Chauhan ruler of the 12th century captured the city from the Tomaras, and under the Tomaras, the Chauhans, Delhi grew into a very important administrative center in the North India. Because of Delhi's strategic location, most of the sultans established Delhi as their capital city, because Delhi was the center of the area. So Delhi became the capital of many sultans. Or Delhi strategic location most of the sultans established Delhi as their capital city. Okay, and first dynasty we will discuss about the Mamluk dynasty or slave dynasty. I told you that Qutbuddin Aibak was originally Muhammad Ghori's slave, and he established himself as or he established by him is called the slave or Mamluk dynasty. Okay, and here we can see the important dynasty, that is, or important personality, that is Qutbuddin Aibak, and he was a very good ruler. He was a generous ruler and a great builder also. He built many mosques in Delhi, and he also built the Arahi Dinka Jorburat Ajmer and began the construction of the Qutub Minar in Delhi. Qutbuddin, he died in 1210. Okay, Qutbuddin Aibak, he was very good ruler, he was general ruler, and he gave more importance for constructing buildings. Example, and he built many mosques in Delhi. Okay, he died in 1210. And next, after the death of Qutbuddin Aibak, his son-in-law became the next ruler in 1211. And Iltutmish established the Delhi Sultanate. He either crushed his rivals, won them over with land grants. He also suppressed rebellions. In 1221, Iltutmish refused shelter to the ruler of Iran, who had given out ousted by the Mongol chief Chengiz Khan. This wise move saved India from a Mongol attack. After the death of Qutbuddin Aibak, his son-in-law, he became the next ruler. Who was he? Iltutmish. Okay, and Iltutmish, he organized a group of powerful Turkish nobles, that is called Khalsa. Okay, Khalisa, and to overcome his enemies, to conquer his enemies, he developed or he organized a group of powerful Turkish nobles, that is Khalisa. Okay, and he introduced an efficient system for collecting land revenue and recognized the currency of the Sultanate. And he completed the construction of the Qutb Minar. He also built the mosque by Badaun and his own tomb of red sandstone at Delhi. After Iltutmish, his daughter Razia ruled until she was murdered in 1240. After the death of Iltutmish, his daughter Razia, she was the ruler of this dynasty. Okay, so up to here I will explain again from the beginning. In the 11th century, some incidents happened in the North India. Why? Because the North Indian rulers, they were very weak. So many foreigners, they came and attacked India many times. Especially Sultan Mahmud, he raided India in 17 times. Especially he attacked and plundered the wealth of temples, palaces, etc. etc. He attacked famous Somanath temple. And Al-Biruni, we discussed about Al-Biruni also. He was a great Persian scholar. He came with Mahmud in India and he translated many books into Arabic. Okay, and Muhammad Ghori's invasion. Muhammad Ghori's invasion in 1173. Ghazni was annexed by the Ghori dynasty based at Ghor in Afghanistan. And Muhammad Ghori, he decided to expand. He decided to capture many parts of India, especially Punjab and Sindh. And Prithviraj Chauhan was the ruler of Ajmer and Delhi on those days. So Muhammad Ghori, he attacked Prithviraj Chauhan. In the first battle, Prithviraj defeated Muhammad Ghori, but in the second battle, Muhammad Ghori defeated Prithviraj and later he was killed also. So at the last, when he decided to go back to his own place, Muhammad Ghori, he decided to go back his own place. When he returned, or at the time of leaving his Indian, or he left his trusted slave, who is that? Qutbuddin Aibak. He remained in India and he started, and after the death of Muhammad Ghori, he started his own empire, his own dynasty in India. That is called slave dynasty. Okay, Qutbuddin Aibak and other Turkish generals conquered many parts of India, especially Ganga Yamuna Doab. And Qutbuddin later he proclaimed himself as a Sultan of Turkish territory in India. And there were 5 dynasties were there. Between 1206 1526, the Delhi Sultanate had 5 dynasties, which are the Slave, Khilji, Tughlaq, Sayyid and Lodi dynasties. So, and later these kings, they selected Delhi as their capital. Okay, Delhi as their capital because of the strategic location of Delhi. Okay, first dynasty we discussed about the slave dynasty or Mamluk dynasty. Qutbuddin Aibak was Muhammad Ghori's slave, and he started, or he established this dynasty, slave dynasty or Mamluk dynasty. Qutbuddin, he was a generous ruler and he more importance for construction. He constructed many mosques, etc. etc. And after the death of Qutbuddin Aibak, his son-in-law Iltutmish became the next ruler of Delhi. And after the death of Iltutmish, his daughter Razia became the next ruler. Okay children, up to here all of you read. If you have any doubt, you can ask through the comments.